Welcome everyone to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We're happy to have you with us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. This is a webinar and you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so there's one more to sign up for today. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. I'd like to kick it over to our wonderful presenters today. And first up, we have Franklin and Marshall College.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's very nice to see you. My name is Emily Herbert, and I am the Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Franklin and Marshall College, and the one that does work with our transfer students. So just as a brief overview for F&M, we are a small liberal arts college located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That is about an hour and 15 minutes west of Philadelphia, hour and a half from Baltimore, 2.5 hours from DC, and then about 3 hours from New York City. And our campus is less than a mile from an Amtrak station, so it is nice and easy to get to and from. You can see about 2,400 students. We only have we only have undergraduates. So all of the time and attention is dedicated to our undergrad students. Students are coming from all over the country, all over the world. We're very proud to host a robust international student population with about 17% of the student body, roughly a quarter of students that identify as domestic students of color. And for transfer students, they are coming in for the fall and spring semester. So it's a very kind of mentorship cohort, if you will. Just to highlight kind of the three main things that you're learning about schools out there. For academics, we work very hard to personalize that experience. And the big part of that is academic research. Also ensuring that the living learning experience is fostered. And so again, coming in as a transfer student, being fully integrated in that way, and then leveraging our location, the city of Lancaster. So to begin with academics, we have over 62 fields of study between the majors and the minors. Probably one of my favorite programs is the Create Your Own major called the Special Studies program. Really, it's kind of all about what you're passionate about, and that can absolutely be defined through the research. Over 2/3 of students will conduct academic research and work personally with faculty members. So everything from kind of robots identifying live minds to creating a barometer of gay rights for the world. Our students are doing a little bit of everything. But a lot of ways to personalize between double majors, major minors. One thing that I think is great is that all F&M students do not declare their major until the end of their sophomore year. And so what that means is whether you're coming in as a transfer at the end of your first year, at the end of your second year, our transfer students are jumping right into things and are right on track with that academic experience. Of course, life outside of the classroom is a huge part of being in college and kind of finding that right home as you're transitioning. So what's wonderful, I think, about F&M is recognizing our college house community. And so we don't just have a bunch of dorms, we have our college house community. And so it's a little bit like Harry Potter, where there are 5 college houses. Every student is a member of one of those 5 college houses for their full time at F&M. Every house is defined by a number of features, and that does include what I consider the home base, and this is one of those home bases for the 5 college houses. Every house has its own government system, a Don and a Dean. The Don is a faculty member who can serve as another academic advocate, and a Dean who does student affairs. All of our transfers are placed into one college house, and so again, it fosters that idea of integration and mentorship. But the transfers then are designed to work with each other for the 2 or 3 years that they're at F&M, but again, being fully integrated into the community at large. So the houses then have different social events and traditions, academic hosted events, but a very unique feature for F&M. Life outside of the classroom, of course, very important. We're the diplomats. There's a lot of school spirit and pride. You can see Benjamin Franklin and John Marshall, a nod to our namesakes, if you will. Athletics, we are primarily a Division III school with 27 varsity athletic teams. That does include D1 wrestling and non-divisional varsity squash. A wonderful, robust arts scene. Some of our largest organizations are involved with the arts. We just opened up our new visual arts center. And then kind of just, I think it's important that you get a sense for the feel and the vibe of a school. So if you are ever able to visit campuses, we'll all encourage you to do so. But I would say our students are laid back, they're supportive, they're very focused on their academics, but again, having a balanced experience, and everyone's involved with, I've made the number up, but like 3 to 5 different clubs and organizations. So there's never a dull moment at F&M. You can see this is kind of an aerial view of campus just to give you a sense for what the campus is like. But what I love is that, it's kind of that small, everything's together, but at the same time, it's an open campus. So at the top left, you can see there's a big park. It's a public park. So you'll see a lot of families and locals that are walking through campus. And then this is a picture of the center of downtown Lancaster. It's about a 10 or 15-minute walk to get to the center of downtown. Over 60,000 people, one of the largest refugee populations per capita. Students are downtown for fun, but also service, internships, jobs. There's a ton to take advantage of. And I think appreciating how your location can enhance what you're doing in and outside of the classroom. And then just to wrap up the application process, again, to emphasize, we bring our transfer students in for the fall and the spring semesters. We do require a professor letter of recommendations. We have interviews available, and we do meet 100% of need for all of our students, including our transfers, for the full time at F&M. So thank you very much for your time this evening. We all wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Pennsylvania College of Technology.
Thank you so much. 1 second here. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Tyler Pauling. I am a transfer and adult student admissions counselor here at the Pennsylvania College of Technology. Pleasure to be able to get to talk to you all tonight. So one theme that you will hear from me tonight in regards to Penn College is hands-on education, and the other is real-world experience. You'll hear me say it over and over again. It's a big, 2 huge pillars that we stand on here at Penn College, and it's something we take a lot of pride in. So here at Penn College, a big focus of ours is giving our students these hands-on experiences to learn. So in order to do that, we have small class sizes here, really state-of-the-art technology in our labs that our students are spending tons and tons of time in, as opposed to sitting in lecture halls, taking tons of notes, going through PowerPoints. Our students are spending that time in these state-of-the-art labs that we've provided for them and learning by the instruction of our real-world experienced instructors that we have here. So across all of our different majors, we have these hands-on applied technology labs for them to be able to spend that time in and get that real-world experience. As I mentioned, we do have a smaller class size focus here at Penn College to give students a much more close experience with their professors, with over 150 different learning labs, over 100 different diverse majors, as we're able to plug and play with a lot of our different associate degree and bachelor's degree options. So tons and tons of students are coming into Penn College for one of our specific associate's degrees and maybe a certain trade that they're interested in. And then usually tying that in with one of our, applied management or business administrative bachelor degree options to kind of give them that bachelor's experience from college with a strong associate's focus in their particular field that they're most interested in. And then something else we take a ton of pride in here is our graduation placement rate. Across the entire institution, we sit at about 98%. So we really see a strong consistency of our students getting great opportunities in different different companies right after graduation within the field that they focused on while they were here at Penn College. As I mentioned, access to the latest technology. So in these lab experiences, while they're learning with their hands and learning by doing here at Penn College, they're doing it with some of the most state-of-the-art technology from their field. So the reason that we're really boisterous about this is that we want to make sure if our students are going to be spending so much time in these labs, that they're doing it on equipment that they're going to be using when they get into the field. So you can see here some of our aviation labs, baking and pastry arts, brewing and fermentation, dental hygiene. For example, to go into depth on the dental hygiene clinic, with our dental hygiene associates and bachelor's options here, both of those types of students are working in our dental hygiene clinic. Fully functioning clinic, available to the public, available to students and our staff to be able to get their teeth cleaned for $5. And students in that program are getting that hands-on experience with the supervision of our instructors here, and making sure that it's all technology that they're able to seamlessly transition right into the real world. So again, something we take a lot of pride in here. We really, really encourage students and their families to come and check us out. It's a huge part of our values. So if you have any potential interest, we'll talk about visit opportunities a little bit later. And then to break down kind of our academic structure, we have 3 different schools here at Penn College: Business, Arts, and Sciences, Engineering, Technologies, Nursing, and Health Sciences. Now, those are very, very broad, sectors for the array of different programs that we have here, from construction, automotive, nursing, physician's assistant, dental hygiene, culinary, business administration, accounting, finances. I mean, you name it, there's tons and tons of different focuses of majors here at Penn College that we've really packed into these 3 schools. But to give you a little bit of an idea, those are some examples, but on our website, we have a program finder that I really encourage students to check out. So they're able to go in depth and check out, a little bit about the curriculum of the program they're interested in. Internships, clinicals, and senior capstones. So as you're seeing here, the Pennsylvania College of Technology is actually located in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the home of the Little League World Series. We're in North Central PA. So here are a couple of our paramedic focused students actually capitalizing on their internship opportunity at the Little League World Series over the summer here. So on top of the paramedic program, many of our other programs here at Penn College have a internship or clinical or some sort of capstone aspect tied into their program, where students are getting out there with a lot of our strong corporate partners that we have. Something else we're very passionate about here in our corporate relations that we have. After years and years of providing very quality graduates to certain industries and companies, they're willing to reciprocate that with some internship opportunities, clinicals, capstones, those types of deals for our students in the programs that they're interested in. So some of those opportunities will take you abroad, some of them right here in Williamsport, but there are plenty of those to go around. As I mentioned, the global experiences, even outside of the internship opportunities, some of our students have an opportunity to travel abroad with the relation to their program. So the one that comes to mind for me is dental hygiene clinic again. But again, several other programs have this opportunity as well. But one thing I do want to talk to you before I have to go here is a transfer specific notes. So with Penn College, we accept transfer students for the fall and the spring as well. We have courtesy transfer credit evaluations that we do for students. You can find all my contact information on our website if you just search Tyler, and I'll be happy to help you through any questions that you might have. But again, I really encourage you to come and see us. We'll be posting some summer visit dates to the website here very shortly. But thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Northland College.
All right, let me just share my screen here. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So hello, my name is Matt. I am an associate director of admissions and the transfer admissions counselor at Northland College, which is a little bit different in that we are in Wisconsin. We'll get to that in a second. But basically, Northland was founded in 1892, and we're a community of right around 600 students. So we're a smaller school. But those students come from all over the country, including Pennsylvania, and a handful of countries as well. And as I said, we're in Wisconsin, but something to know if you've never been to Wisconsin is that the northern part of the state where we are is significantly different from what you might think of when you think of Wisconsin. You might think of cornfields and cows and things like that. Well, we're at the very tippy top of the state. So right at the tip of the orange delta on my screen here, we're in a town of Ashland, or in a town called Ashland, which is about 8,200 people. And we are less than a mile from the largest freshwater lake in the world, Lake Superior, which you can kind of see in the background of this photograph. In the foreground, you see our soccer and lacrosse stadium, as well as campus. Ashland is a lovely little city of about 8,200 people, like I said, and you'll find all sorts of amenities like, basketball courts and a co-op, movie theater, thrift stores, little breweries, all sorts of things. It's got a lovely character, and probably the most defining one, of course, is that we are right on Lake Superior. So definitely a really exciting location, and one that is sort of critical to the experience that you would have at Northland as a student. Northland is also a liberal arts college, which, so we have kind of that, we're in that classic tradition of liberal arts institutions, but we have a twist. We have an emphasis on sustainability, the environment, and social justice. We incorporated that into our mission in about 50 years ago now. And in the back, this picture here is of Wheeler Hall, which is the first building on campus. Today, it houses all of our humanities and social science programs, and is kind of the old main of Northland's campus, if you will. So being a liberal arts college, we have programs, academic programs that span everything from the arts to the humanities to the sciences. Where we're particularly well known is in things like natural resources, where we have one of the top ranked programs in the nation. Things like outdoor education, sustainable community development, Native American studies, and then all of the environmental sciences like climate science, water science, biology, all of that. And we have sort of a little bit of something for everybody, essentially. We're also a Division III school, NCAA Division III. We have 14 varsity athletics teams, and just under 40% of our students do participate as student athletes. So it's a very athlete-friendly campus. And as I said, we have this unique perspective. So our commitment to the environment and sustainability has been noticed by organizations around the United States and around the world. We are a member of Sierra Magazine's Cool Schools. We are Wisconsin's first bee campus, a very pollinator-friendly campus. We're a member of the Eco League, which is a consortium of environmentally and socially minded institutions throughout the US. And we're a Princeton Review Top 50 Green School for 2020. So we have a lot of kind of accolades and laurels that we can rest on, but we try not to do that. Really, the other thing that I think makes Northland a special place, or it's one of our defining characteristics, is our strong sense of community. Now, we are a smaller school, of course, but we have a lot going on. There are 20 clubs, 3 student publications, there's an outdoor equipment rental facility, and there's just always events and programming going on throughout the year. It's really, it's an exciting place to be, and it's probably one of the friendliest college campuses I've ever been to. It's the kind of place where you just walk down the sidewalk and people you've never really met will say hi to you. The other thing that really is defining is something I mentioned before, and that is location. It underwrites everything we do at Northland. You see here the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore. That's about 30-40 minutes from campus. Lake Superior is the largest freshwater lake in the world. It's roughly the size of North Carolina. So, we've found ways to weave it into the curriculum. There are all sorts of experiential learning opportunities tied to it. But then, of course, you can do all sorts of things, outdoor recreation related, everything from sea kayaking to stand-up paddleboarding to sailing, you name it. So the lake and our location has a really strong sort of place in our sense of identity. And we also really try to incorporate that experiential learning opportunity or opportunities into just about every program we can. So, over those last 130 years that we've been around, we've looked to our natural environment and found ways to get students out into the field, applying the skills they're learning in the classroom, whether it's art, where you're going out and thinking about, sculptures that are inspired by trees, or you're working, as you see in this photograph, to identify plants and things as part of a botany course. So we really, we take pride in our experiential learning opportunities, especially the ones that are afforded exclusively by our location. And all of that sort of boils down to some really great outcomes. You know, about over 90% of our students are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. And, you know, just about every transfer student who comes in with an associate's degree or the equivalent in credit is able to graduate in just 2 years. So you get your 4-year degree, and then you'll be really able to go on to just about anything.
Thank you
We
so
are
much.
accepting applications.
We're going to move on to Penn State, but if you want to share some information, you're welcome to do that. But we'll come back to share some of that information in our round robin questions as well. So Penn State, you are.
All right, very good. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight's session. My name is Ashley Anthony, and I am one of the transfer staff members at Penn State University. Just to kick things off here, just a little bit of information about Penn State. We were originally an agricultural college, and we are a land grant state related institution. And we were founded in 1855. And you'll see that on our shield sometimes. And Penn State has 275 majors that we offer to undergraduate students. We also have 20 campus locations across the state of Pennsylvania. So we like to say we have a campus for everyone out there. Small campuses with 200 students on up to 45,000 students at our University Park campus. So we are well known around not only Pennsylvania, but the United States and internationally. We have excellent academics to offer students in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, there's many opportunities, including things like our study abroad program. Once we get back to non-pandemic life, there'll be lots of opportunities for students to study abroad, either for a week in an embedded course, for a summer session, a semester, or even a full year. We also have an excellent career and professional development office at all of our campus locations. We encourage students to get involved or stop by the career development office early on so we can find out what you are most interested in and help you find your passion, find your career, and also prepare you for those internships, interviews, and even help you seek out graduate programs later on. And fun things that we have to do on campus are also quite varied. As you'll see, we have over 1,200 different clubs and activities that are offered to students across the system. We have everything from academic clubs like Education Club, Pre-Medicine Club, Pre-Dentistry Club, to religious affiliated groups and social justice groups, as well as community service-based groups, and some things that are just for fun, like Frisbee golf, anime, knitting clubs, and those kinds of things. So a little bit about who Penn State sees as a transfer student. Students are considered a transfer applicant if you have completed high school or a GED, if you've attended another university and have completed 18 or more college credits after high school. And then we have majors in all of these different content areas that you see on the screen, everything from engineering to liberal arts majors, science, education. Most of these majors are open to transfer students. However, there are a few majors that unfortunately are not offered to transfer students at the University Park campus, our largest location. And those would be in the Smeal College of Business, Engineering, and our Information Sciences and Technology. So the only thing we need from you to complete an application is you submit your application online through your My Penn State account. And then you will send us your official college transcripts from any institution you have attended. Once we have reviewed everything, we will send out first a message to your My Penn State account of the decision. And then we will follow up with lots of information in the mail. If you are looking to see how your credits transfer to Penn State, you can also use our transfer credit tool. This is a really helpful tool. You can see if a class you want to take now or in the future could transfer over for you and what it would transfer in as. And then here at my last slide is just some information on contact, who to contact, and our social media outlets. So thank you for your time tonight, and I hope to hear it from some of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this point, I would like all of our presenters to come back on camera and unmute themselves. We do have some time for our what we call our round robin Q&A, where you can share some of your tips with our folks tonight. What advice would you give someone going through the transfer process? And we'll start in the same order of the presentation. So Franklin and Marshall College.
Great. I think one piece of advice is just to, be kind to yourself and know that you have accomplished so much. So even if you are switching schools, or maybe you've started at a community college and you're transitioning to a four-year institution, you have a lot to be proud of, and you are bringing your own unique perspective with you. And so really a college is benefiting from you as a transfer student bringing that unique perspective. So I can take pride in that, I would say.
Pennsylvania College of Technology.
For me, and I mentioned it during our presentation, but go out if you can and go out and see these campuses. This is where you're going to be spending a good amount of time. So make sure you're seeing where you're going to be working, where you're going to be studying, where you're going to be living. Make sure you're getting feet on the ground before you make a decision like this. Look into your transfer credits and make sure it's a good fit. Try and get access professors. If you can have a quick conversation with someone from your program you're interested in, that could totally make or break your interest in a program or something like that. So that would be my advice, is to really try and get some dirt on your hands as far as your program and the campus you're into.
Northland College.
Yeah, and I would just say, make use of folks like us. You're the transfer admissions counselors. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to see if we can connect you to a professor, or we're here as a resource, of course. And we really want to be able to help you make this transition as easy as possible.
Penn State University.
Hi. Yeah, I would say definitely get on campus and take a tour if you can with a current student. That way you can get the real inside scoop about a school and get some feedback and get a student's perspective on your university or college.
So our next question, in same order, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? So starting with Franklin and Marshall College.
My favorites always involve food. So in keeping with that, one of my favorite traditions is Flapjack Fest. And the period of time between the end of your classes and the start of finals, so those reading days, it's a little stressful and some of us cope with food. And so F&M opens the dining hall from 8 p.m. to midnight, and you don't need to swipe in. All students are invited to eat some late night breakfast food. And the best part is that it is served by faculty and staff of the college, and the college president always shows up. So it's a nice way to come together in a fun setting.
Pennsylvania College of Technology.
So the Little League World Series would be a common answer from some of our students, I think, but another really big one for us that I enjoy is the welcoming celebration for our new students, transfer or traditional. We have a huge fireworks show out on the main lawn of the campus here along the Susquehanna River to welcome our students to Penn College and get them, excited to start the new semester. So I think that would probably be mine.
Northland College.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit of a dorky thing, but all new students, as part of kind of the onboarding orientation welcome week, go down to Lake Superior and find one of the, a stone that has sort of been smoothed by the waves, and they claim it as their own, and they write their name on it in paint, and it's put in a jar. And then when you graduate 4 years later, you get it back as kind of a memento of your time, but it's sort of like a symbolic way to start your Northland experience.
Penn State University.
I would say for students, one of the most favorite events are the Penn State football games. If you're not a Penn State, or if you are a Penn Stater, you have to take advantage at least one time to go up and see a live football game. There is the opportunity for students to go up for All U Day. It's where students from every Penn State campus are offered tickets to go to a game. And it's just a great way for the student body to show their pride.
And our final question is, or statement, I guess, give an interesting or fun fact about your school, Franklin and Marshall College.
Great. So you already met our mascots. They're pretty fun. But another cool fact is that usually people know Hershey chocolate, and we're near Hershey, Pennsylvania, but Milton Hershey, the founder of Hershey Chocolate, gave money to help build some of the spaces on our campus.
Pennsylvania College of Technology.
So the Pennsylvania College of Technology actually started as a vocational technical program at the Williamsport High School over 100 years ago. And in the wartime efforts around World War II, we actually were transitioning into becoming a technical college. And the foundations of that technical college were able to provide war efforts in creating different supplies and things like that towards our nation's army for those couple of years. So that was a pretty substantial moment in our history.
Northland College.
Yeah, so we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of sort of formally adopting our environmental mission as a college. And it's kind of interesting because this past Earth Day was the 51st Earth Day, and the senator, the U.S. Senator Gaylord Nelson, who sort of spearheaded establishing Earth Day, was a good friend of some of the folks at Northland, and was actually at sort of the groundbreaking ceremony for one of our kind of core institutes that relates to the mission. So there's a lot of interesting kind of we just have a very kind of interesting timeline, and it ties to Earth Day and the environmental movement. So.
And Penn State University.
We have such a broad range of fun facts about Penn State, but across the whole system, I think we have the most astronauts that have gone up into space that have graduated from Penn State. And that may also be true for meteorologists who are currently on TV around the country.
I always love the fun facts. I think it's so interesting to hear more of your institutions that way. And but I certainly want to thank our wonderful presenters for your wisdom, your information on your institutions, the fun facts, and for joining us this evening. And for all of you who are tuning in, when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback. This is also one of several sessions being hosted, and you can find all of the recordings, including this one, if you want a recap of it, at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the evening or day.